The Ryan and Ryan Power Hour podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing, we will rock you. We will rock you. We will rock you. All right.
Welcome into the Ryan and Ryan Power Hour here on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And I'm Ryan Risky.
And what we're going to start off the show talking about today, because it's pretty relevant, I believe the NBA draft is next week. I think they usually do it on a Thursday. I think it's going to be next Thursday. That would be the June 25th. I'm pretty sure they're doing it then. I know it happens at some point in June, and it's very exciting. There's a lot of good people coming out of this draft class, which wasn't necessarily the case last year. There was good people last year, but this class definitely has a lot more people that can really change a franchise.
Right. Just like last year, there was a lot of players in last year's draft, like Andrew Wiggins. I mean, he looks like a superstar in the making.
Right, Andrew Wiggins, of course, and there's been a lot of other people, and then people from overseas like Nikola Mirotic on the Bulls, who did a phenomenal job as well. And I think those two were the two people that were in the running for Rookie of the Year and ended up going to Andrew Wiggins.
Which he did deserve it.
Yeah, he did for sure. So here's a mock draft from NBA.com. Number one pick, as we know, will go to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and because they did the draft lottery a couple weeks ago. And they're projected to take Karl-Anthony Towns. He's probably the best overall player to enter the draft. Jahlil Okafor is number two, but I think
Towns is going to be more of a complete player.
Yeah, Towns is more of a complete player. Center power forward. He's 7 feet, 250 pounds, so he's a big dude, obviously. And then here's a little paragraph on him. While it is possible to see the appeal of Minnesota choosing Jahlil Okafor as an inside threat and counterpunch to Andrew Wiggins, teams expect the Timberwolves to go with Towns and his higher ceiling. Towns has a good chance to become more versatile than Okafor on offense and much better on defense. So that's what they say about Karl-Anthony Towns. The number two pick will go to the Lakers, and if Towns does in fact go, they will take Jahlil Okafor, which I'm sure they would. He's 6'11", so he's just an inch shorter than Karl-Anthony Towns, but still a pretty good fit.
Right, and then they'll be able to pair him with Julius Randle.
Right, Julius Randle will be back.
And I mean, that's really something that the Timberwolves get Andrew Wiggins in that Kevin Love trade last year. Now they could get whoever they want in this year's draft. I mean, they've got two franchise players in back-to-back drafts.
Right, and
I don't remember who they took last year, except I'm sure it won't have as much of an impact as their pick this year.
No, I wouldn't think so. Jahlil Okafor, number two to the Lakers. Number three is the 76ers. A lot of people thought they would get better pick than that, but the lottery won, and the Lakers jumped them even though they had a better record.
Well, the one team that really got screwed was the Knicks.
The Knicks did get screwed. Did they have the worst record overall? I think they did.
No, they went on a 4-game win streak at the end of the season and I think they barely beat the 76ers.
All right, so yeah, but they have number 4, but number 3, the 76ers are projected, according to this, to take D'Angelo Russell, the shooting guard from Ohio State. I believe he was the Big Ten Player of the Year, or maybe that was Frank Kaminsky. It was one of the two. I know it was both of them who were looking for it. And so there's a strong case, but D'Angelo Russell seems almost the perfect fit for a team that has gone heavily front court the last 2 drafts, taking Nerlens Noel, Joel Embiid, and he needs a lot of help in the backcourt as well. Rarely is there a guard with Russell's skill set of being able to beat teams with the shot or the pass. So the first guard taken out of this draft, they're thinking, is D'Angelo Russell. Obviously played in a competitive conference in the Big Ten.
I mean, that's a really good point with the 76ers, that Joel Embiid did miss the entire season with a broken foot.
Right.
And he looks like he could be a really good player in the league as well.
He could for sure. The Knicks are expected to take somebody from overseas. They're expected to take power forward Kristaps Porzingis. So he's a power forward from Spain, 7 feet, so he's tall. Probably reminiscent of Nikola Mirotic, I would think. He has the ability to put the ball on the floor, so it seems like he can shoot probably a little bit. And it seems like he would be a good fit for Phil Jackson's triangle offense, is what they're saying, too. So that would obviously be a big, strong point. And he has good defense, matches his potential on offense. He has the range out to the arc as a 7-footer. So, yeah, he's sort of reminiscent of Mirotic, I would think, although he's probably a little bit of a better, or he's supposed to be a better player because he's going 4th overall, possibly.
Right, well, Mirotic kind of went under the radar. No one really knew much about him. I mean,
right.
I believe I read he would have gone in the top 5 if he was in last year's draft.
Right,
and that says a lot.
And the Bulls have wanted him for, 4 years? They had their eye on him 3 years. And,
yeah, I think he was in his contract with Real Madrid was for about... I think he was overseas for about 3 years because they took him in the Jimmy Butler draft. So
right,
he spent 3 years in Real Madrid and won with the Bulls.
Yeah, to talk about a good draft, the draft where you get Jimmy Butler and Nikola Mirotic in the same.
Which it sounds like he wants to leave for money.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later on in the show. I don't think the Bulls will let him go.
Yeah, good riddance.
Well, I don't think the Bulls are going to let him go. He's too good of a player.
Trade him for a first-round pick, honestly. Good riddance to Jimmy Butler.
No.
I can't stand him.
Number 5, the Orlando Magic are predicted to take, here's the second player from Duke, Justice Winslow, small forward. He's 6'7". It says Winslow's two-way game is a very good fit for the roster being built on defense, even if Orlando re-signs Tobias Harris as a free agent, which there's really no reason why they wouldn't.
Orlando has a really good team. Like, I thought they should have won more games than they did last year.
I think you'll see them improve tremendously this year. They did fire their coach halfway through the season, didn't they? Fire Jock Vaughn or whatever.
Oh, was it halfway through this? I know.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I guess they just were looking for a new coach now.
Yeah, well, that's why a lot of people tied Tibbs to Orlando, which he still technically could go to Orlando. But we're not sure. Winslow is a highlight reel athlete who had big moments in the tournament. Yes, he did. He had a couple really good plays in the NCAA tournament. He is a good shooter, very good defender, all with very high ceiling. So that's the question there. They think the Orlando Magic will take Justice Winslow, and he could play with Tobias Harris and Victor Oladipo and
Nikola Vucevic.
Yeah, Nikola Vucevic.
Who did they take last year?
Who did the Magic?
Magic take last year?
Let me take a look.
I saw they got someone like really good last year, I think. I know the year before they were kind of got screwed over by getting the number 2 pick. And
they took Alfred Payton.
Alfred Payton, that's right. He looked really good at times this year. Like he had like spurts of looking really good and then not so good. They've got a good young team though.
Yeah, they do have a good roster, and hopefully they're not playing in a necessarily very competitive conference. I mean, they're in the same division as the Heat and the Atlanta Hawks, and I think the Charlotte Bobcats too. So it's not very difficult for them to have success. So we'll see how that happens.
Yeah. I mean, is this an entire mock draft for the whole first round?
I'm looking as we go down. Yeah, I think it's for the entire first round.
When do the Bulls pick?
The Bulls are. Let me scroll down and see. The Bulls. The Bucks are number 17. The Bulls are further down. The Bulls are number 22.
That's probably too late to get Frank Kaminsky.
Yes, I would
I think
so.
he's going to be in mid-teens.
Although, I mean, yes, the Bulls would love to have Frank Kaminsky, but I don't think they'd take him. I mean, they already have, a lot of people.
Well, then you could probably trade a guy like Taj.
Yeah, I guess you could trade a guy like Taj. I like Taj too much, though. I don't really want
I.
to
It's just I don't think he's going to have as much value for the Bulls as he did with Fred Hoiberg as head coach.
True. I don't think he's going to play as well under Fred Hoiberg.
No, because he'll be the only one playing defense, and then when he's on the court, the other team will be scoring a lot because he'll be the only one trying.
Right. The starters for the Orlando Magic last year looks like it was, they had Elfrid Payton, Victor Oladipo, they had the veteran Ben Gordon, Channing Frye, Nikola Vucevic, Evan Fournier, Tobias Harris. So that was a pretty good team. A couple of those guys on good teams will be coming off the bench, but
Fournier
it's a pretty good team.
Looked good in spurts, too. Like, he showed that he can be a scorer if they need him to be.
Right. Number 6, the Sacramento Kings have the 6th pick. They have George Karl now as their head coach, and they also have a pretty good core along with DeMarcus Cousins. And I think if anyone can settle down DeMarcus Cousins, it's George Karl.
There's a rumor that the Nuggets are trying to trade Ty Lawson to the Nuggets to reunite him with George Karl.
Right, I saw that. I'm not sure who the Kings would give up, but I could see a trade happening. Ty Lawson's a veteran. I don't know if they're really interested in a veteran point guard on that team. But, it couldn't hurt to look into it, obviously. The Kings are expected to take somebody from China, or at least who's playing in China. Emmanuel Mudiay. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Point guard, 6'5". The Kings the Kings need a speed point guard. And he pretty much fits that. Mudiay is the choice because he can defend at a high level and run an offense. The shot is the big question, so he might not necessarily have a good shot, probably misses a lot, but is able to distribute the ball very well. He's probably like Rondo, but hopefully he's better than Rondo for the Kings' sake. The number 7 pick goes to the Denver Nuggets, Mario Hezonja from Spain. So a lot of people overseas are projected to go pretty early, as is the case in certain drafts. A welcome addition for a team that needs help on the perimeter. After years of being tracked by the NBA as a top prospect, he turned 20 in February, so we're both older than him, and remains as promising as ever. The native of Croatia can score in a variety of ways. He has excellent size for the backcourt, potential to move the small forward, athleticism, and experience in the good competition. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go through the top 10, and then we'll take a break, and then we will just continue to go through it a lot faster, obviously, and then we'll talk about what the Bulls are doing, too.
We'll just stop at the Bulls.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's really going to care after that.
No, that's true. Number 8, the Pistons are going to possibly take Willie Cauley-Stein, which he showed some moments. He's from Kentucky. He showed some moments of being really good, too. Let's see. So the very mobile Cauley-Stein next to Andre Drummond, no one would score inside on the Pistons. That's true. If they both were there, that would be a really good 1-2 punch.
Yeah, they've got a
there.
good interior. Drummond and Greg Monroe. I just think Drummond was too inconsistent last year. Right. There was games he'd have 1 rebound and play 40 minutes. It looked like when he wanted to be good, he could be, and if he didn't want to be good, he wasn't.
Yeah. Now here's another team that sort of reminds me of the Orlando Magic, whereas they didn't play as good as they should have. I mean, they do have Brandon Jennings as their point guard, which is a pretty good, option. He's a pretty good point guard. And they have Greg Monroe, Andre Drummond. If they do take, and if Willie Cauley-Stein is available for them, that would be a really good fit. So, it would definitely be wise to take him. They have some pretty good shooters. They have that shooter who played on Michigan. Can't think of his name right now. I think it's Kyle Singler. He didn't play on Michigan. He played on Duke. But, they have Willie Cauley-Stein. He's doing pretty well. The number 9 pick, Charlotte Hornets, they're projected to take Stanley Johnson out of Arizona. Arizona was a very good team. They made it to the Elite 8 again, losing to Wisconsin for the 2nd straight year. Small forward, 6'7". The number 10 pick is from the Miami Heat, and they're projected to take Miles Turner, who is from Texas, a power forward center.